We are about hour and 45 away from game time in Norman, where the Sooners will take on the Tulane Green Wave at the Palace on the Prairie, 2:30 kick on ESPN. It is going to be a very hot one, Jay. Temperatures in the lower to mid 90s, not a lot of breeze. Conditioning will be very, very important today.
Yeah, I hope it's not the case, but I've heard a few fans complaining about the heat and already. I hope it's a good atmosphere out there. I really do. This is a game you're going into SEC next week. You got to win this game, bar none. You won by 16 to 12 last week. If that's what it takes to get, you got to win today. And I know we've talked about offense all week and what can they do better. Just win and go into SEC play undefeated. You're looking at Missouri right now. Missouri down 14-3 against Boston College before SEC play starts. We'll see. But what are some things today that you can come out? Let's talk about this. So at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, what's up, Coconut Greg, tonight? What are we going to be saying after this game that are the positives? What do you think are some positive things we'll be talking about after this game tonight?
Well, one thing that has to happen is OU has to establish some kind of running attack.
Agreed.
That solves not all of the issues. A running game is not going to solve everything, but a running game and establishing some kind of attack on the ground is going to do a lot of good for this offense. That's the first place you got to start. There's got to be some kind of attacking mentality from the offensive line in the trenches. You got you. Get upfield, block, hold your blocks, attack, downhill, and start getting some momentum in the ground game, and then work in your play action. And work in some rollouts.
And Ryan says, please don't run a sweep first play of the game. Yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. Please, no. And you've had all week to figure out what Tulane does not do good. So your first drive, you need to exploit that. That's typically what great and really good offensive coordinators do is they know after watching film what the team does not do well, and they go attack right off the bat until somebody makes changes. You do, and Keelan's right. They are ranked 94th against the run. If you can't run it today, I don't know if you'll run it all year long, Jeremy. I'm serious.
Agreed, but I promise you, if they watch OU, they're going to say, let's kind of stack the box. The receivers aren't scary. Let's man up, and let's do it that way and put everyone in the box. If they do that.
How you feeling on Nick Anderson? You think he's going today?
I think he's going. I can't wait to hear from Hunter or Jackson there in the stadium here in a little while. See look, here's what I know. First off, if he doesn't have his pads on, he's not playing. So if he goes out there and no pads on, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
Yeah, but there's been plenty of guys for Oklahoma the last few years that go through.
But he's not one of them.
I'm saying a lot of them go through warm-up and no play. So who knows? What about go Boston College. That's right. What do you think offensively? Any changes you think that we see today?
Well, I'm hoping Nick Anderson's in the game. I'm hoping we see a little bit of Andrell Anthony. On the offensive line, if Hickman plays, that changes things a little bit. You could possibly then at that point really adjust and move Sexton maybe to tackle if Everett's back. I don't know if Everett's back. If Everett's not back, Sexton's going to be the tackle so he can make the calls there. But if Hickman's back, he can make the call. So I don't know.
I think there's a lot of people talking about EPL. Rightfully so. He's a super talented dude. And a lot of people want him to play now. And here's what I think. I think if you were to play him, I do think you would get some physicalness, some nastiness. You would get some mistakes. But at this point, what are you willing to live with? And I do think guard-wise, they're really worried about not having experience at center. So if Bates is going, if Hickman was going, you might see him be an EPL. I don't know. If Bates is playing, I don't know if he will. I still think he should get in the rotation some to see what he can do. I think he's talented enough to be able to do something, but I don't know. We'll see. Keelan, I bet your receivers would be scared if Jackson was playing better. Hopefully that starts. I agree. I agree with that.
I absolutely don't. So I don't care if you agree with it, Jay, but here's what I'm going to say. Tell me, count them on your hand how many times he's missed wide open receivers.
He missed a lot last week.
Give me a time when he missed wide open receivers going down the field.
He missed a lot last week. I don't need to go into the specifics.
Tell me him. You don't know him.
He threw 5 balls out of bounds.
Zion Reagans did not have separation on any of those, Jay.
He missed a couple guys he didn't throw it to because they were open.
Well, I'm not saying misreads. I'm talking about ball in air when he's just missed the guy wide open.
I am not getting in an argument. I think Jackson Arnold's really good and has a great arm. I'm not going to get.
It's not on Arnold. I'm not talking about Arnold. I'm talking about the receivers. I have not seen receivers running wide open down the field, Jay. I'm not talking about Arnold.
They haven't had receivers just wide open down the field. They've had some receivers open shorter, but not just flying down the field. I would agree with that.
The receivers aren't getting – listen, they're not being double-teamed outside of Burks. They're being single-covered, and they're not getting open.
Yeah.
Down the field.
And Emmett Jones preaches physicality at the receiver level. I don't think you've seen it that much yet this year. I think they were way more physical last year. Yeah, they had different players, so you can't really argue that. They had Farouk playing a lot last year. I think Farouk injury is hurting big time right now. I know some people don't want to admit that, but it is. And obviously the Gibson injury and Anderson. And Anthony. It'd be nice to get one of those back. It'd be nice to get Anderson or Anthony back, at least one of them, to give you some size. I mean, they need some size at the receiver. Craig says we need to establish the run in order for the passing game to be effective and Jackson Arnold to be comfortable. Let's be clear. I agree with that. The run, you can't run RPA without a run. You can't make defenses honest, keep them honest without a running game. You got to get a running game established, whatever it may be. And maybe it's not running so much on first down, because if you look at their first down runs have been for like a yard or two average, and you're in 2nd and 8. You're already behind the chain. So maybe it's mixing up a little bit more than that. I don't know. We'll see.
Mark Littlefield says limited RPOs, more straight drop pass plays, and less inside zone, more out. Yeah, I'd like to see the speed option more. I would definitely like to see more outside running game. South Carolina looks good. LSU looks bad.
If you watched the Tulane K-State game last week, and then I watched K-State last night against Arizona, which K-State looked really good. I don't know if that bodes. Tulane should have beat them or could have beat them for sure. They do something very interesting. They pull their center. They run an outside, but they pull their center, not their guard. I don't know. I thought it was interesting, and they did really well against it last night and against Tulane. Tulane did not. They're bad against the run. They're 94th nationally, but I think they're really bad on the outside. I think you got to try to get some stuff outside on them. I think that's maybe where they're the weakest. 14-6.
Here's what I do know. You cannot. I repeat, you cannot let a team like Tulane hang around. You are begging to lose at that point. Well, you can't give them any hope. You've got to get on them, and you've got to get on them fast, and you've got to get on them very long and keep it going.
Yeah, probably the best thing that could happen to Oklahoma today would be to start the game off and have a great drive. I mean, that to me gets.
I don't even care about a drive. Put points on the board. 7.
Yeah. Maybe an explosive play. Whatever. They haven't. When you think about this year,
haven't had any.
They haven't had one explosive play. How many plays have they had this year over like 20 yards? Maybe 2.
Yeah, not many, Jay. The explosion, the big play capability does not seem to be there right now.
And that's what people were banking on this year. And so let's face facts. I mean, they got some receivers out. It's time for somebody else to step up at the wide receiver. It's time. Like, you don't come to the University of Oklahoma as a wide receiver, 4-star, 3, 4, 5-star, whatever. You don't come to sit on the bench. You want to play. You've had so many injuries at that position. You have opportunities as a youngster. Guys like Zion Reagans, Zion Kearney, Carry on. I mean, go down the list. Guys that have opportunity to get a lot of playing time, they need to kind of separate themselves when they get out there and make a name for themselves. It's time to do that. I think maybe somebody does that today. I hope. If not, it's going to be a long game, and it's going to be a long season if they don't get it moving this week.
Kimberly K, as a Tulsa alum, Jay and I are both graduates from Tulsa. This is a year I thought TU might show something impressive. They're absolutely getting demolished to the Pokes today.
Hey, OSU may make the playoff.
Well, they got to win the Big 12, Jay.
And that's what I'm saying. I think they might.
K-State looks pretty good, Jay.
I know. I think OSU's pretty good. They returned a lot. I mean, Bowman today was like 18 of 21 for 4 TDs in the first half. I mean, he's seven-year quarterback. He should be pretty good. I think it'll be between them and K-State and Utah. Those 3, who makes it. The Big 12 could possibly get 2 teams. They could.
You never know. I hate to see Tyler Van Dyke go down for Wisconsin today. Could be an ACL. That's not good. Their hopes of probably anything is going down the drain.
They didn't have very much hope anyway.
Their hopes or what they had is going down the drain pretty quickly, Jay.
Yeah,
it's going to be very hot today.
It's going to be hot. It's so weird because this is the typical game you would get week 1 as an Oklahoma Sooner fan and team. Because usually August, you get an afternoon game. They haven't had an afternoon game yet. They've only had night games. They get an afternoon game, and it's going to be a hot one. We'll see. I think they play enough guys defensively that they'll be rotating a lot. Offensively, I don't know what you're going to do. You got a lot of injuries, so we'll see what happens. And, hey, I may be dead wrong on that. I'm not saying they are making it. Did I say that? I said they have a good chance to make it, and I think they do. Are we getting Hickman back? Riker asked. I don't know. If I had to put my money on it right now, I'd say he's not playing today. I would say out of the injuries today, this is who I would say would play. I would say Anderson will probably play some, and I would say Anthony might play some. I think you might play both receivers some.
Last night you said 2 of the 3. Now you're going 3 like me, huh? I'm rubbing off on that.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying Anthony would play a lot. He might play some, but I don't think Hickman's going to play.
So. Here's what I'll say about Hickman, guys. Hickman was fully suited up, going through all the warm-ups last week at the Houston game. Yeah. So he's going to be suited up. He's going to be going through warm-ups. If his ankle feels all right, I see him going. I see him playing. And that's something we'll find out closer to game time.
Yeah, as the game time gets going. I'm trying to think back last year with the injuries. Or last week with the injuries. You had on defense, you had Peyton Bowen. Didn't hear anything about it this week.
Nothing. Kip Lewis,
he came back in, so I assumed he was fine. And I think also Kendall Dolby.
Dolby gets banged up probably 3 or 4 times.
But he came back in, so last week.
Correct.
So all those guys played last week.
Peyton Bowen's the one that never came back in. Peyton Bowen's the one that never came back in, and OU has not said anything about him.
Correct. So offensive line-wise, Jake Taylor went out of the game last week.
I don't see Jake Taylor being available this week.
So what do you think they go out starting 5 at offensive line today? What would you go with?
I think Hickman's back.
Okay, so what would you go with?
Hickman's back and Everett's back.
No, I'm asking you, what do you think they're going to roll out there? Don't tell me who's back.
I don't know who's playing, Jay.
Well, I'm asking your opinion. Who would you throw out there right now? Who's it going to be?
Well, if Hickman's back and Everett's back, it changes things, dude.
Let me tell you mine. I think this is what's going to roll out there. I think it's going to be Tarquin at right tackle, and it's going to be Howland at left tackle. It's going to be Sexton at left guard, Fabechi at right guard, and Bates in the center. That would be what I would guess it's going to roll out there starting today. That would be my guess based off last week's injuries and guys going out and whether or not guys will play. That's kind of what I'm guessing. I may be wrong. So that's a guess.
Yeah, I think if Everett's back, you got Everett at guard.
If Everett's back.
Yeah, I'm going to say that, Jay. If not, Sexton's your guard. They're not moving him from guard unless someone's there who can call the calls. Now, if Hickman's back, that can happen. So I don't know why that has to be some kind of just say it, Jeremy. I don't know, Jay. It's a guess at this point.
You're on a little bit of edge today, I can tell.
It's a guess at this point.
Are you a little on edge today? You seem like very.
It's game day. I live on edge.
You got a short fuse today, bro. Very short fuse.
Tyler, I hope the line's gonna kick butt today. I hope they kick butt today. They better. It's time.
No, you're right. Riker.
Spencer Brown did not play last week. I don't think he's playing.
I think they realized after game 1 he can't play because he didn't play at all last week. And they had a lot of guys moving around last week, and they never put him in there. That tells me he's kind of done.
I got to say the Bomb says angry. The Bomb is so supportive of this channel and does a lot for our viewers and things. And we appreciate generosity from the Bomb, man. It's great. Appreciate all you do for this channel.
Hey, what's everybody's score predictions? Drop them in the chat.
Jay.
Yeah.
Are we going to see more from Brennan Thompson in the passing game?
I hope you see more from all the receivers because they haven't done it. I mean, we're through 2 games at Oklahoma playing against the teams of Temple and Houston, and they don't have a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard rusher, or a 100-yard receiver. That's, in your words, that's pathetic. Okay, that's what that is.
Not it's tick. And Seth Luttrell needs to figure
whatever you want to say.
Seth Luttrell needs to figure things out. Stop riding the coattails of Levy. Stop doing something that you think might appease someone at the university or a player, and call the shots. Go with what you got. Go with the offense. You know, you're the coordinator, and go. Get it done. We can't ride the coattails of some former coordinator and try to make it this and that. Again, I'm going to say it. The Latebe.
Hey,
I'm done with the Latebe offense.
I see a lot of people saying low scores, 21-14, 28-20. Riker, Keelan, I picked 20-17 Oklahoma. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I haven't seen enough to say this week's going to be a lot better than last week. I hate to be that way. You can call me negative Nancy. I've had so many people comment and say I'm so negative. Based off what I saw after 2 weeks, how can I sit here and say they're going to score 40 or 50 points? I can't. Now, if
Where
they
have they
do
been
it
really
tonight,
good at?
If they do it today, maybe next week I'll be in a lot better spot. But right now, I'm not.
Where has the offense been the best?
On the sideline.
Red zone. They're 100. Red zone. Get to the red zone and they score. It seems to be kind of the common thread here. And I think the offense will be better today, Jay.
Yeah, and Mark agrees with you. He says offense a little better, but not dramatically. That's probably, if you're a Sooner fan, that's probably what you would say. I would say expect that. Don't expect a dramatic change. I think this offense has to go with some improvements as you get it. On the sideline, I did say that, Keelan. You know, the first 2 games, I'm going to tell you something that's truthful for me as a fan. This is a true statement. In 2 games, these are the first time in probably 10 or 15 years when I'm more excited when the defense is on the field. And that's a fact. When they get out there, I'm like, oh, let's go. Maybe they can score. That is sad. And I know I don't want to get overcompensate, over talk about it too much. I know it's only been 2 games, but so far through 2 games, there hasn't been enough out there for me to be like, yeah, this team's going to be great offensively later on. Now, we've seen teams change and get better, though. So that's the positive you can look at.
And Jay, maybe you can reach out to Hunter or Jackson here in a second, because I really do think Nick Anderson is a guy who can make a really big difference in this offense. He had 10 TDs last year, 10 tutties as a freshman. We know he's physical. We know he can get open. We know he's got great size for Arnold to see going down the line, doing the 8-yard hitch, getting outside, coming up underneath. There's a lot there. I would love to know right now if he's in uniform, Jay.
Oh, I bet he's in uniform. He wore his uniform last week, not the bottom.
He did. Jay, when I mean in uniform, I don't mean in street clothes with the jersey, okay?
When I say in uniform,
he was not fully dressed last week, Jay. I was at the game. Wasn't fully dressed.
Okay. You are so short-tempered today, it's ridiculous.
I want to know if he's fully dressed right now in his uniform. That's what I want to know. Someone find out for me, Jay. Reach out.
Does Andrell play today? I think he might get some snaps.
Andrell Anthony was fully suited up last week, went through all the warm-ups, just did not play.
Hey, they've played 2 weeks, and they've won an SEC award in both weeks. First week, Special Teams Player of the Week, Tyler Keltner. Last week, Grayson Halton, Defensive Lineman of the Week. Who gets an SEC award for Oklahoma this week, if any?
Maybe it's an offensive player or a special teams guy.
Maybe. I can't pick.
No one. Hey, 3%.
You know what's got to be better today that really could have cost them the game last week?
What's that?
Punt returns.
Oh, it was pathetic, Jay. Hey, the sun might be in their eyes this week. Tatum for newcomer of the week, Coconut Greg says. I got to say to the 3%er comment, not only is no one complaining about the defense, no one's even talking about the defense because the offense has been so bad that is overshadowing all the good that the defense has done so far. But I will say also, a lot of reason I think there hasn't been a lot of talk on the defense is they've seen this early in the year in the past. But they've made game-winning plays on defense. You had the safety. You had the 6 takeaways. There's been a lot of game-winning plays, championship-type defense. It's got to continue.
Yeah, hang on a second. I got to check something real quick. I just got a text message, Jeremy.
Is it about Nick Anderson? Figure it out, Jay. Richard says short-tempered because we all know what's going to happen today. No, I don't. I honestly don't know, Richard. I don't know what offense is going to show up. I don't know what Seth Luttrell or Latebi, well, whatever offense we're going to run is going to happen. But Riker says, hot take, Barnes and Tatum should be our starting backs. It may be it. Barnes has been good in pass pro. Barnes made great blocks. Barnes is the most physical. Barnes had a couple good runs. I think Tatum has done some really good things when he's been in there. You've got to get outside more. You've got to block better. The counter's going to have to happen more. You've got to be physical in the running game.
Hey.
You've got to attack downhill. Yes, Jay.
Hey, so per OU Insider Twitter, Branson Hickman out.
Golly.
Gentry Williams out. Kendall Dolby out. Nick Anderson probable.
I was right on Anderson.
Dolby. That's a surprise.
I am so tired of no updates throughout the week, guys.
Now, that's per OU Insider. Give credit where it's due there. Saw that. So, Kendall, you're going to see a lot of Omashigo today. And
Deshaun McCall is not back yet.
Who do you think rotates with him, though?
Could it be Peyton Bowen?
Well, is Peyton Bowen healthy? I mean,
this is unbelievable. Okay, Branson Hickman, you said he probably wasn't going to play. So obviously Bates is going to be the center again. I don't know if Everett's back. Was Everett on that list? No. Everett was not on that list. Let me ask you this. Let me ask all the Sooner fans on here. Would you rather have Nick Anderson back today and Dolby not play, or would you rather have Dolby play and Nick Anderson not?
I think they have some guy. Here's the thing. I think Dolby has been playing really good this year, but I did think when he went out last week, number 24, Samuel
Oshimigo was great.
He played really good. And
however, Jay, one thing we all have to know. This is a dual threat quarterback. That Cheetah position, I talked about it in the game time video. The Cheetah position is very, very important in this guy in defending this type of quarterback because he can run outside. You've got to be good in the passing game. You've got to watch his eyes. Having Dolby out could be something to keep note of, Jay. Big time thing to keep note of. And
I see a lot of people in the chat saying they'd rather have Nick in and Dolby out, and I think that's because how bad they've been offensively, and people think defensively they can just be fine.
So who's the backup now at Cheetah, Jay?
At backup,
Canick's not going to rotate over there.
It'd probably be. I would say it'd be Peyton Bowen. Probably
Jaden Rowe.
I don't know. 2 weeks into season tells you what about a team. I listen, Scott. I don't think it tells you a whole lot, but I will say this: until I see something different on offense, I don't know what to think. So I agree with you on that, and maybe we are all wrong after week 2, and we're saying this offense isn't any good. But I have to see it today. If you get another game out there and they're that bad offensively, then I think maybe a 3-game sample, you're sitting there thinking maybe they're not any good offensively. That's all I'm saying. Now, You can't deny they've been bad for 2 weeks. So they haven't been explosive. I think explosive and no running game is the word I'm looking for.
There's more depth at Cheetah than receiver. There is right now. There's more depth at Cheetah right now. But listen, hey, this is a game with the Heat. The defense needs to have all their dudes because conditioning, and you're going to have to play the competitive depth. Yes, Lance, Jackson Arnold can sling it 65 yards. That's not the issue.
Yeah. I think people are saying it's overblown through first 2 games. Bates penalty last week is one of the worst.
To me, it was one of the dumbest penalties you can have.
Brent did not like it either at all. So
So Hickman's not in, so it's going to be Bates at center, which means maybe EPL is going to play some because
I think because you don't have any experience at center, they're going to want more of an experienced guard. They're probably going to keep Sexton at guard.
Oh, I think Sexton could likely play guard too, but
what I said is probably going to be your fault.
So Logan Howland's going to start at tackle, Jay?
I think so. Now that's a good question. Talon asked. What about McCullough?
Have not heard, Jay. He was in the boot last week still.
Let me text Hunter. I'll be right back.
Yeah, find out, Jay. Find out the medical report. Text AI Hunter. See what he can find out. What's the latest on McCall? The latest that I've seen, Talon, is he was in a boot. I get that it's precautionary, that those boots are worn so that guys don't walk on their feet like they need, as much as they need to. But man, that cheetah position without Dolby is something to keep an eye on. Riker says when Hickman gets back, they need to kick Sexton back. Absolutely. And that's what I think. Fanstop says, let's hope less RPOs today. I agree with that. I think it's very difficult for the offensive line with running those RPOs. If you're not familiar with everything, you've got to make a decision. You're always in the back of your mind wondering, was the ball handed off? Is there going to be a pass play? Do I need to go downfield and block? How far downfield can I be now? Are we throwing the ball? There is some of that. I think absolutely, Fanstop. I would like to see less RPOs, more PAs, play actions. That's what I would like to see. By the way, check out the Fanstop at thefanstop.com and order your OU apparel. Sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club. Use code SURGE. Get 10% off your first 3 months. Also, they have amazing upside-down Longhorn hats for Texas Week. Get them. And by the way, it's not just for Texas Week. We can always drop the horns. It's always fun to drop the horns. They're amazing hats. They got a dad cap style. They got the white rope band going across the front. Thefanstop.com. Get on there and order your stuff today. What's up, Jay? Update.
Did you talk about Riker's comment here?
Which one? Yes, a little bit.
Okay. So, I mean, what I said earlier when I said my starting five, probably, I said on the offensive line, I said left tackle Howland, right tackle Tarquin, Sexton at guard, Fabechi at guard, and then Bates at center. That's what I picked earlier on in the show. Here's the thing, though. If you don't do that, what other option do you have? The only other option you have at tackle, in my opinion, is to move Sexton to tackle. But that would mean you're playing Ozida.
Unless Taylor's back.
I don't know if Taylor's going to be back.
He wasn't on that report.
I know, but listen, he hardly played last year. He didn't come back in at all last year.
Jay, answer this. How credible?
It's OU Insider.
But we haven't heard from BB. I'm guessing they got that from staff, though.
Yeah, I don't think they post that at all. If they don't, I think that's a report that they're out.
That's not one you probably post unless you know for sure. That's the thing. I'm not saying everything's done that's credible, but I'm saying that's Taylor, not something you're going to throw out there.
I believe they also may have posted something about Jake Taylor being unlikely. So
Blake, here's the report from OU Insider that was reported a few minutes ago, and Jay's waiting to hear back from Hunter, AI Hunter, or Jackson that's at the game just to see about guys that are suited up. It sounds like Branson Hickman's a no-go. Kendall Dolby is out today, apparently. Nick Anderson's probable. Was I missing one, Jay?
Yeah, you're missing one more. Gentry's out. I don't think that's a surprise. I don't think Gentry Williams is a surprise. When he went down last week, I think people thought he was probably
maybe that's why people think Eli Bowen.
Well, here's the options. Let's talk about this for a second.
Where's Seatbelt Vickers, Jay?
No chance. Hey, you talk about Kendall Dolby. He's out. So you got Samuel Mashigo is going to start. Now, when they rotate him for him, I think you're going to see Peyton Bowen go to Cheetah, which would mean Peyton Bowen, Billy Bowman, and RSJ all on the field together. I like that. The question is, how good is Peyton Bowen at Cheetah? Because he hasn't really played it much this year. He's been playing more
in the running game in general, Jay.
So, because I do think Omashigo was really good as a backup last week when he came in.
Hey, was the Crimson Missile Brandon Everidge?
Maybe.
Was that Brandon Everidge, Coconut Greg, number 7, back in what?
Riker says, what's up with PJ? Thought he would have broken out by now. He just hasn't broken out yet. I think maybe it's just trying to get – he also was battling an ankle injury, I think, early on in fall maybe. So trying to get back from that. Now, that's an interesting one, Blake.
I wouldn't mind Boganowski there either.
Is he ready, you think?
Don't know how much Cheetah he's practiced, Jay.
Do you think they could – now, I don't know it either.
What about Kanik there?
No, they won't do that. Could you do – I mean, I love Boganowski. Could you move RSJ down there
No. RSJ
I
is
think
as graded out as the best safety in the country. No.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to go Omashigo, and then the backup will be Peyton Bowen at Cheetah. That's what I think.
Hey, and look, I wouldn't look Deshaun McCullough. I don't know. We don't know about that.
And Talon asked a great question.
It's EPL. It's EPL, and I'll tell you why. He got here late, on campus late, and he's already picked up a lot of things. That shows you he's a pretty smart dude at the line. He's also probably the nastiest guy they got on the O-line.
I think it's two guys. I think I would love to see Heath Azida get a chance on the O-line.
I as well, Jay.
He's been there now a year and a half. Like, it's time, I think, for if he's going to play, it's time. If you can play Logan Howland, why not and Logan Howland, I thought, did okay when he was in there. So maybe Ozida could do the same thing. When I was talking earlier about the offensive line, the only way you don't have Logan Howland and Michael Tarquin starting at tackle is if you move Sexton out to tackle. But if you do that, you're going to have to play EPL or Ozida at guard, because I don't think Everett's coming back.
Hey,
now,
I want to get to that in a second. I was going to say that when you were talking, Jay, earlier. First off, Dizzy, Eugene Brooks will be a beast too. I love Eugene Brooks. Woody Washington is a guy that can go back and play safety and cheat up towards the line. He is a guy that may be better in that position than at DB, Jay. I don't know.
I almost would like him better at that position than DB. So that is an option for sure. I mean, I could see that. Jake wants EPL. I think a lot of people are, talking about EPL, and that's who they really want to see. But whether or not he gets out there, I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on the center position. They got no experience at center. Are they going to put no experience at guard too? That's a lot on somebody. And that's it, Jake. If Hickman's not playing, how do you put him there? Now, Reggie Powers is another name mentioned. That's a good one also for that position. Any word on Deshaun?
No word on Deshaun. The last time I saw Deshaun McCullough, he was in a boot. And that's been 7 days, I believe. So Hunter can maybe give us, Hunter or Jackson J might be able to reach out to you. They're going to be on the field warming up. So we'll still be on here. We can give you some updates. Don't leave us yet. Stay on this. We still got what? Hour and 15 till kickoff.
That's right. Next year's line could be special. I agree.
Could be.
Michael Fasusi.
I think he's a day one starter.
He's there today.
What is the update on Mizzou?
I think it's 14 all. Boston College is very underrated. They got a really good coach. Bill O'Brien can coach football, period. We're twins, Lance. We're twins.
Identical
you know what I need?
Twins.
I need a bucket hat. I need to get a bucket hat like you.
Identical twins, okay? There needs to be a serious look into why they're getting injured. I've watched some of Bama, Wisconsin. I saw 4 injuries in the first half, Coconut Greg. It's happening everywhere.
It is a tackle sport in this football. So, I mean, what can you expect?
Jake says 22 personnel.
Yeah, I hope we see some different things today. I really do. I really liked what I saw last week. I know it's not like he did a ton, but Jake Roberts, I liked the way they used him last week. I like a couple of the calls with him.
Hey, Jay, I'm gonna find something out real quick.
All righty, go for it. There was a comment I was going to get to up here. Somebody update me. Is it still 14 all on that score? Are guys just overtraining everywhere? I mean, Blake, I don't know. I mean, there's something said about being overtrained. I don't think that's it. I think it's a tackle sport, and you're going to get hit and you're going to get hurt. I am not by any means saying this is true all around college football, and because it's not. But if you were getting paid, does getting paid and not playing, does that please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying it like this. I heard somebody else talking about this. I thought it was interesting. If you're getting paid, some guys might just be like, I'm going to sit out right now. I don't want to. I'm not saying that towards Oklahoma. I'm saying in general with the college game the way it is.
Jay, there's no way of knowing. Hey, Missouri had a great second quarter, it looked like.
Yeah, they really gave us 14-3, so they outscored them 14-0 in the last 7 minutes of the quarter.
Yeah, it must have been a turnover.
So
or Luther Burden went off a little bit. Brady Cook found Luther Burden some. Jay, I've sent a message. I'm trying to find out about 4 guys. 4 guys I want to know about.
What 4 guys are you asking about?
I want to know if Deshaun McCullough is suited out. I want to know if Troy Everett's suited out. And I want to know if Anthony and Anderson are both fully suited.
Well, Anderson's probable.
Probable doesn't mean anything anyway. So
probable means you're going to be suited up.
I've heard OU people say probable and they don't get on the field, Jay.
And I think Coconut Greg is right. The number one thing that motivates the players is playing time. And this is why the whole wide receiver issue right now is mind-boggling to me. Because I hear a lot of people complaining about, well, they just have no experience. And I get that. Go make a mistake. That's fine. But they should be very motivated to be starting as a freshman. Some of these guys that are playing, Zion Reagan's got a lot of playing time last week. It's time to, show out now. And I do think this is where the Anderson thing would be big. They need some size at wide receiver return. And Clark's right about Jackson Arnold. The people that are complaining about Jackson Arnold and asking, I don't know if he's the guy. He was an Elite 11 MVP. He was 5-star quarterback. His arm talent's off the charts, okay? They just got to get in some type of identity offensively. That's what has to happen.
And you're right. I haven't seen guys just running all over the place wide open. There's not much separation. And by the way, passing really isn't the problem. He's had issues in some other things, but it's not. He has the ability to fit it in tight spaces, to get the ball where it needs to be quickly. That's not the issue right now. There's multiple issues. They're compounding. OU's got to figure it out today. I think they figure out some things in the running game for sure. That'll open some things up.
Yeah. Vickers is
Will
back.
there be a Hawkins package? I say no.
Back. Vickers is back healthy. That's good to see.
Yeah, that's good.
You may see Eli Bowen today if they move Woody. I mean, you could.
Very well could, Jay. Hawkins package, yes or no, Jay? I say no.
I don't think so. I don't think.
Speed option, a little option with them.
I don't think you're going to see a package. I don't. Run the counter, please, Jake says. Also think design quarterback runs could help. So, and Germ's gone. He's gone. He's going where he went. We'd love to see RMT get a couple sacks. He has played better, in my opinion, this year. I think he's been more physical. I think he's bigger. I would like to see him get a sack or 2.
Couple things, Jay. I'm gone because I got 3 boys in the other room, and it sounded like something was going on. So,
Gotcha.
Also, I checked my phone. Hunter said not everyone's out there yet warming up. He will let us know on those players as they come out and warm up. So I'm going to have to check in a minute, Jay.
6-4 Chevy says Tulane about to catch a beatdown. That would be the best thing to happen going into Tennessee.
Hey,
you got Tennessee looming. You need to look better today.
Oh, yeah. And our live today after the game, everyone that's on here now, tell everyone else, hop on the live after the game. It's going to be fun either way. It's going to be fun either way.
Directly after the game, like right after the game, we'll be on. Talk about it.
Gap scheme. That's what Talon says.
The issue is they're dropping 8 to 9 in zone, and we have an issue.
That's what I said earlier, Jay.
Yeah. Boomer Sooner, Chuck. Thanks for joining today. Appreciate you. The offense could play worse, but I just don't see how unless they start coughing up the ball. That is the only thing the offense has not been bad at this year, has been turning it over. They've been okay. They've only had 1 turnover. So can they – I mean, you would think they would be better maybe a little bit, but it's hard for me to say right now. You're right, 6 for Chevy. It's a violent game. Injuries happen. And they'll continue to happen in football. That's what happens. The Dolby thing was surprising that he's out.
That's shocking, Jay. No updates all week, and here he is. He's out.
But what did you expect? No update. Did anybody ask about Dolby even?
I'm sure they didn't, Jay. Missouri's up 17-14 at half, up 3 at half.
Correct.
Kendall, if you're just joining us, Kendall Dolby, according to OU Insider, reported that Kendall Dolby is out. Branson Hickman is out. Gentry Williams is out. Nick Anderson is probable.
Brian Kelly's seat is warmer. Yeah.
Absolutely. His seat has been warm and toasty ever since he tried to use the Cajun accent, okay? Fact.
That's true.
Walk in there and use that accent and expect to not be on the hot seat.
Let's go Sooners. What's up, Michael? Fansop says one thing about it next week.
Yeah.
We'll have our first injury report. And that's true, Fansop. I agree. But you also have this. You'll have a lot of probably questionables because it's going to be like questionable. So you're going to see some younger guys. I think you might see in rotation today on defense, you might see a guy like Eli Bowen. You might see a Michael Boganowski or Reggie Powers. You might see them roll in there a play or two because of Dolby being out. I don't know. Depending on the way the game goes, too.
Hey, Florida State's not good. Chuck, OU does not have more guys hurt than are available.
He's being a little sarcastic, but he's right. They have a lot.
They have a lot hurt. Now, Gentry Williams has only been playing about 5 snaps a game. So he hasn't played a lot. The one to me is Dolby. Hickman's going to be back. Hickman's going to be back next week, okay? Jay, do you have the upside-down Longhorn hat nearby?
I do, right here.
Let's show everyone that. Guys, that'll if you want to get fired up, just look at this hat because that Texas game is going to be here before you know it. You need to get on the fanstop.com and order it. Seriously. I actually prefer that rope one, Jay. It's love the look.
You like the flat bill?
Love the look. Love the look.
See, flat bill for me, I don't pull it off as well as you.
Who's Texas got?
I pull this one off really good.
Hey, they're already selling them right now. Lance says sold. Michael says baby. Get one. Okay.
You won't find him. Hey, you won't find him anywhere else.
Fanstop exclusive, man. Fanstop exclusive. Okay. Thefanstop.com. We'll be rocking those as Texas week approaches, but you can't look ahead.
Real quick.
You got 2 teams before Texas, Tulane and Tennessee.
That's right. I hope.
And Auburn.
Clark. It says, I'm happy with Nick being probable. It might be better to save him for Tennessee, though. I am so sick of the saving people for a game. You barely win to Houston. You barely beat Houston. You can't save anybody against Tulane. If you can play, get them out there. If you're banged up that can play, you need to play. I'm sorry. You can't hold guys out anymore for another game, I don't think. And that's why, like the Hickman injury, I guess he must be pretty injured, or I thought he would play. I can't see them holding him out if he can go. Odd Future says, are y'all twins? We are twins. We are twins, Odd Future. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. We do this every night at 9:30. We do it pregame live, and we do a postgame live directly after the game. So make sure you join us after the game to chat it out. And it may be last week I would say it was a therapy session for most fans on here. Let's hope today is a celebration session to say that the offense showed up. That's what I'm banking on and hoping on today.
Jesse, Florida State's cooked. Norvell is, I don't know what's happening. Michael, here's what I would say about this. And everyone that's joining us, thanks for being here. We'll be on immediately after the game as well, like always. But listen, Jackson Arnold can show off 5-star arm talent. If there's no separation by receivers, if the line's not protecting, if you don't have a running game, it does not matter. They've got to find something offensively. Seth Luttrell needs to be Seth Luttrell and not Seth Latrevi. We're not here to appease someone and try to fit someone in a system. Run the stuff you know how to run, okay? The players have got to adapt. If you want to run the ball a lot, run the ball a lot. Attack people.
Yeah, Jesse has a couple points here. I think he's right. I mean, the percentage of this I think you could put on the offensive coaching staff is pretty good because I do think players are a big issue too, but you got to put your players in the best position to win. In the run game, if it's running out, whatever it is, do something that you know they can do. And I understand they're down a lot of injured guys, but it's not like they've had bad recruiting classes over the last few years. They got young guys that can play ball. It's time to play. I mean, time to play. Get them ready.
Wow. Couple of things. First, hit the like. Jay, answer this real quick, and then I got to get Mizzou champ. Since you're on after the game, are you still on at 9:30? Here's what we're going to say. The game's probably going to be over around 6:30. We're going to go live immediately after that. We may be on 3 hours. We're just going to play it by ear.
Well, it depends on how the game goes, probably. But probably what we'll do is stay an extended live post game and then not do 9:30. But we'll see. We might do both. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on how the game goes.
Mizzou champ, I want to say kudos to you, Mizzou champ.
Wow, he joined? Man, that's impressive.
It's halftime. You had a good second quarter. Down 14-3 early, got up 17-14. I wasn't able to watch how they caught up, but you got to have a good second half. Appreciate the owning up to it, though. That's big time.
By the way, Mizzou champ, Boston College ain't no slouch. They're a good team. Bill O'Brien can coach football, and they got that dual threat quarterback's pretty good, I think. But Mizzou turned it on at the end of the first half. Let's see if they can pull away. I did pick Boston College in the upset, so you should be in pretty good shape, Mizzou champ, because I'm never right. So
LSU coming back. It says crowd sucks early. Jackson, here's my perspective on that. No one's going to go sit in the hot stadium. They're going to all be tailgating until it's closer to kickoff. They're not going to go sit in that hot side of the stadium.
Well, if it's true that a lot of people sold their tickets, I'm frustrated. That's
weak.
That I heard some rumors about some students selling their tickets, and if that's true, that's weak. That's weak.
Hey, what do you think of this comment by Jesse? To me, it feels like the coaches don't want to change the run scheme because they're expecting the players who can run what they implemented back, but when? I think you got to run your system. You got to run the system. The players got to get it done.
Yeah, you got to block it, but I understand what they're saying is like, if that doesn't fit what you have, maybe you change it up. Mizzou champ, you're not the only one that was talking about Missouri.
Hey, I challenge Mizzou champ, and thanks for taking responsibility and apologizing. You need to check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. See, they have officially licensed gear for most college football teams, and you can sign up for a Shirt of the Month club if they have Missouri, and you'll get a shirt sent to your doorstep every single month. Sign up for it. If they have Missouri, I think they do, but I can't speak on that because I'm not for certain. I don't want to quote anything.
Robert Smith says offense has to show up today, show us something, even though they have injuries. I agree. You have injuries, still, you got to go show us something today. It needs to look different than it did last week. Michael, should Tatum get more snaps? Yeah, more snaps than one snap? Yes. He should get more than one carry. By the way, Caden Durham, LSU scored a touchdown today, running back. OU was in on him for a while. Yeah, Florida State and LSU. Wow. How far has Florida State dropped in 1 year? My goodness.
What Blake says, I'm waiting for. Do it. At some point, Beanemo's called them out, I'm sure. Step up, man up, and move the line. Move the line. Move the line.
I agree. Key to me is offense line shows up, the rest take care of itself. And you're right. Yeah, we all need grace, Kimberly K. That's right. I hope tonight's live after it's over is a great live because they looked really good offensively. And listen, I don't want to talk about the offense too much because I think this is the defense's biggest test by far from the first two games. The first two games, those offenses were not good at all. Those offenses were awful. What they're playing today, Tulane, is a pretty dang good offense. They're not the world beaters, but they can move the ball. You saw what Kansas State did to Arizona. Look what Tulane did to Kansas State, guys and gals. So they can definitely move the ball, and they can definitely have playmakers. Mario Williams, the running back's good, is also good, the running back. Mario Williams will stretch the field deep, and the quarterback's a dual threat. It's going to be an interesting game.
Chris says freshmen got to start. Got to start playing. Got to start playing more. Freshmen on the field. Get them there.
Mizzou is available. There you go.
Mizzou champ. There it is. Go to thefanstop.com. Sign up for the Start of the Month Club for Missouri. You'll get one sent to your house each and every month. And they're great. They're different each month, different design. Great feel, great fit. They're great.
That's right. And Blake, I would say there is zero chance they run it. Now, they may send Deion Burks in motion on the first play, but I don't think they would hand it to him. I don't think any possible way.
I'll pull my hair out.
It's going to be a dogfight.
Jay, can you see if you can get any updates on players out that are warming up by chance?
What's that?
Have you seen any updates? Can you check for a second? I'd like to give it, if you're just joining us, some news that was reported player-wise, player availability from OU Insider about 30 minutes ago. Branson Hickman is out. Kendall Dolby is out. Gentry Williams is out. Nick Anderson is probable. That's the latest. We're trying to find from Hunter and Jackson who's out warming up. Are they fully suited like Andrew Anthony, Troy Everett, Nick Anderson, are they fully suited up? We're trying to get the word on that. Deshaun McCullough is a guy that's been in a boot. Is he someone that's going to become available? We'll get it to you. Stay with us. Jay will get us the answer. No one's talked about this week. Mario Williams is back in Norman. OU better be chomping at the bit to play against him. I know he said that he's excited to be back in Norman. He's got nothing but love for the University of Oklahoma, but you cannot allow Mario Williams to beat you.
Yeah, I like what Talon says here. You cannot play the classic play down to the competition game. Have to dominate and not let them hang around. OU really offensively has not made a statement this year. Defensively, you can say they have for sure. They've looked good. They've made some big plays. Look at the turnovers they got in game one. They had some big turnovers last week with RSJ on the interception. You had the safety. They've made some game-changing and big plays. Offensively, haven't seen it. You got to see it today. No excuses, zero excuses. You got to do it somehow, some way. You got to make a statement offensively. And you got to become an identity. You got to get some type of identity. Bobby, I'm fired up for the game. I'm fired up too. The closer it gets, the more fired up I get. Put Malone and Bowen on Mario. We'll see what they do. Good luck today, Sooners. Thanks, Hook 'em Horns. Appreciate it. Don't let the receiver
Aaron, they haven't. And that's the good news. OU's defense hasn't really allowed a lot of guys getting behind them. They had the bust last week when they were supposed to be playing zone halves.
That was a coach thing, though.
They played zone quarters. It was a mix-up. That's really been the only one who's gotten behind him. I think they've got to stop the quarterback run game. And, guys, the running back, Hughes, is really good.
Yeah. Hey,
Hughes is really good for Tulane.
Yeah, maybe as we, with probably, 10 more minutes here, Jerm?
Yeah, 10 minutes is what we got.
Maybe before we close here in 10 minutes, drop your hot take from the game today. Let me start with mine. My hot take of the game is Oklahoma scores a touchdown on a trick play. That's my hot take. I think they score an offensive touchdown on a trick play.
Wow. Hot take for me, Jay. I'm going to say Zion Kearney shows out a little bit.
Wow. Okay.
Blake says Barnes running.
Hey, how crazy is that we're saying that's a hot take? And I would agree that's a hot take.
Lance, adios. Join us after the game. Charge that phone up so you can be on the live afterwards.
Yeah, appreciate it, Lance. Thanks for joining. See you after the game. Barnes runs for 100 yards. Hot take, OU turns Tulane over 4 times. That would be outstanding. And that would probably be enough to keep them at number 1 in the nation. Hot take, OU scores 2 defensive special teams touchdowns. Jake, that would be outstanding as well. I'm not seeing a whole lot of people on offense here thinking it's going to get better. Hot take. Now, there's one.
Wow. That is flaming. Call the fire department.
Talon, if that's the case, I'll call you out after the game if that happens. Wow. Bobby says one of them gets over 100. Talon's saying 2. That would be impressive. Now, they are ranked 94th against the rush, but
something's got to give.
Something's got to give. Jay Haynes sleeves it like a madman to open receivers. That would be a shock, too, because we haven't seen it this year. Now, this would be really impressive, Jesse. And I will say, as an offensive coordinator, I think an offensive coordinator expects to score their first time they get the ball. They've scripted it all week. They know what they're looking for. That should be your best possession. So we'll see what happens. I think that would be outstanding, obviously, for many reasons.
They cannot press on offense. They cannot press on offense. They've got to play loose, all that. Clark says, I appreciate y'all's commitment to posting and keeping us up to date. Y'all keep some. Hey, thanks, Clark Kent. Appreciate it. I hope OU's offense does a Clark Kent and turns into Superman today, okay?
That's right. Running game goes for 120. Hey, some big news we haven't talked about. DirecTV.
I got rid of them, Jay. I'm on YouTube TV after
they signed a contract, I guess, and ESPN's available now. So if you have DirecTV,
we got rid of DirecTV. So.
No, but I think you can watch it today. It's already done, correct? And
it is.
So if you have it, there you go. You don't have to worry about it.
Watch ESPN app. Also, Dion needs to go deep. He went deep last week. He didn't cut off the route. He kind of stayed out. It wasn't great. They need to fix that. 10+ touches. 10+ touches.
Wow. Listen to this. I got some breaking news.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Anderson.
Wait, who's this from?
Hunter. Or it's from Jackson. This is from Jackson. Okay. Now I don't know because now I got a different text, but he said Anthony is suited up. Anderson isn't. But then he said he hasn't seen Anderson yet, so I don't really know what he means. So I think Anderson's probable. Anthony is suited out.
Well, what that could mean, and maybe you can reach out to him, it could mean Anderson's still in the locker room getting treatment.
Yeah, hang on. Let me make a call.
Make a call, Jay. Make a call. That's what we do here at the Sooner Search. We get updates. We're trying to give you things live here before the game gets going. We'll find out. Anthony, though, listen, Andrew Anthony was suited up last week. Andrew Anthony went through all the warm-ups. I was at the game. I watched him. He looked good going through warm-ups, okay? That's not a surprise. Anderson is the guy that needs to play as well. We've got to get Anderson, see what he can do. Tight ends will have a touchdown. Hey, Aaron, that's not really even that great of a hot take, but it's probably a fact. OU's tight ends have been good in the red zone for sure. For sure. Missouri is not the next game I'm going to, but I am going to be at the Missouri game. They got to be ready now. Jason, Chief says, Jason, you nervous about your Boston College pick yet? Up 24-14 Missouri.
Yeah. And I told you guys, if I pick it, you're probably going to pick the opposite. If people would pick the opposite of me on upsets, you would make a lot of
Bama, Jay.
Yeah, and I just saw Eric in the Discord post that Caden Durham from LSU looks really good. OU was in on OU. I thought OU would get him.
Him and Tatum, I think, are pretty similar, Jay.
Yeah. Headed to the Auburn game, Bobby.
Jay, what was your update?
I'm still waiting to hear. I know it looks like Anthony's suited up.
He was suited up last week, though. He went through all the warm-ups.
I haven't heard on Anderson, but we already know the news from Anderson probable. So I would think he's.
What is the score on LSU and South Carolina?
Yeah, hit the like. It means it does help the channel big time.
Just get on and hit the like.
This game defines what Tennessee game will be like. I kind of agree with that, Clark. I would agree with this. Durham right now has 4 carries for 52 yards in the TD. He's electric. You want to talk about a guy that can go the distance every time he touches the ball? He's got home run speed like crazy.
Hey, Jay,
Cooper the Great says 24-16 South Carolina. LSU, I think, might be driving. I'm not positive on that. Don't have it on. LSU.
It'd be a good win for Beamer, Jay. It'd be a good win for Beamer. LSU just scored 24 all.
It would be a good win for Beamer. I don't like the games that do game day and then have an 11 o'clock kick.
It's a job-saving game for LSU. They cannot lose that.
I'm going to be flat out honest with you.
OU cannot limp into Tennessee not knowing what their offensive identity is.
I'm going to be Durham with a tough run to score, man. Durham, good for him, dude. Good for Caden Durham to get in play. I think he's really talented, dude.
Do you think that OU got Tatum? And can you refresh me on that commitment, Jay? Was Tatum before Durham?
Durham was an OU guy for a while, and then at the last I would say near the end, he kind of flipped over. And then once LSU, I think most people knew he was going to end up LSU down the stretch. But
yeah.
So
Jay, I don't want to really get off here until we get that update.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back. Hang on.
I got someone I can reach out to if you can. Jackson Arnold, Carvan, Oklahoma says Jackson Arnold needs to find his inner Baker Mayfield. Yeah, stop pressing. Play with that because I know he's got swagger. Play that and take chances.
I'm going to find out real quick. But real quick, Cooper the Great. That was a big thing with Durham.
It was a big thing.
You're right, Cooper. That's a great point. Great point, Cooper. Yeah.
He wanted to run track. I don't think it was said that he couldn't run track at OU, though. That's the thing. There's Trap House, Boomer, Sooner Trap House. Excited for this game. If anyone that's on here that hasn't joined us, OU Insider did report, and Jay's trying to confirm with the couple of guys we got there in the stadium on Nick Anderson. But sounds like Nick Anderson was probable. Andrew Anthony is going through warm-ups per Jackson. He's going through warm-ups. He was last week. That's not a surprise. Branson Hickman is out. Gentry Williams is out. And then the biggest surprise, Kendall Dolby is out today. That's a shock. It is Sammy Osmego's time to get in there and make a difference. And he played well last week when he had to play sparingly. It's going to be interesting who the backup Cheetah is. Is Dasan McCullough in uniform? Jay, I know you're not on the screen because you're finding out. Find out, Jay, if Dasan McCullough is out of the boot and in uniform. Otherwise, I think Peyton Bowen gets some run at Cheetah today. I think that's what we're going to see. Today is the day we put it together, Chief T-Bird says. Start our run 47-13. Think about if Nicholas Harbor actually committed. And there's a lot of commits I wish would have committed. Benjamin says sooner. We're going to smack them. Appreciate it, Robert. Thanks for the compliment. We try. That's what we're about, is we're trying to inform viewers, and we try to hear your viewpoints, viewers. They missed the 2-point. I was going to say, I didn't think they got the 2-point, but someone said it was tied up. It's not. It's 24-22. That could be big. And Jay's off again. He's finding, guys, he's being a private eye right now and finding out for you guys what's going on, who's going to be available. It's time. There's no choice. Man up on the line, go block the guy in front of you, drive them back, create space for your backs, and go attack downhill. Period. I'm done with the weak blocking. Be nasty, as Daniel Brooks said last night. Daniel Brooks on the live said, be nasty. Chief, if you love the hat, go on the fanstock.com. It's the only place you can get these and get yours today. That's for everyone out here. By the way, if you're on here, immediately following the game, there's no other place to be. Right here at the Sooner Surge YouTube, because it's going to be electric. Whether OU wins or wins closely or wins in a blowout, I'm not going to say loses because I'm going to think positive. It's going to be electric on here, okay? If Nick doesn't play today, I'm really nervous about our passing game. I am too. I want to see Zion Kearney. I want to see Ivan Carrion if Nick Anderson's not playing. I saw Reagan's last week. I wasn't overly excited about what I saw. I want to see Kearney. I liked when he played against Temple and made that block, pushing the guy outside. Okay. You're muted, Jay. You're muted, Jay.
Sorry. Thanks for joining, Ashley Hookham. She's on here. Appreciate you joining. Hey, here's the latest. Nick Anderson is warming up and he's in uniform.
Finally, let's go.
So Andrew Anthony is in uniform. Now we'll see if he's going to play. You already talked about and brought up the guys that are out. The most shocking of the day is obviously Kendall Dolby. That's the one that out.
Superman, Clark Kent. Did you see Nick's suit on the Walk of Fame he's playing? Here's what I'll say, and I'm going to take you back to last year, Jay. Nick Anderson, Greek god when it comes to his physique. He looks the part. He was the part last year. Let's go. Hey, that is massive news.
If anything, and I know one receiver is not going to change the whole offense, so don't get
not
me
the
wrong.
Whole offense. It changes a whole lot, though.
But here's what I think it does do for Jackson Arnold. It's kind of like when you go play whatever sport it is, and you're with your guys that you've played with. It kind of gives you a little energy. It gives you a little motivation, and it gives you a little confidence. Whether or not he's going to have a huge game, I don't know, but it does say to Jackson Arnold, let's go. I got my boy back.
Nick 6 is back. Can't look like Tarzan and play. Absolutely, and he does it. And Jay, I got to say this because something about Nick Anderson. What he doesn't have is breakaway speed. He's not like a race winner down the track, but he's everything you want in a receiver. He's got the physicality. He can get open. He can go across the middle. He can high point the ball. He can do it all.
Hey, real quick, Deshaun McCullough not dressed out.
Yeah, that's not a surprise because he was in a boot last week. So, Jay, backup Cheetah, you think is Peyton Bowen tonight?
I think Bowen rotates with Samuel Mashigo. Now, after Bowen, I think the other guy you could see in there would be Woody Washington, yes. Because don't forget, per Woody Washington, after the season when he came back, one of the reasons he came back was so he could play other positions. He said that. So I would think he's had some reps at Cheetah. I don't know, though.
I would think he has too, Jay. Peyton Bowen has a chance here to make a statement up at Cheetah when he gets there. And like you said earlier, Jay, I don't hate Bowman, and RSJ on the field together. I don't hate that.
Oh, I love that. Hey, hot take. Does Nick Anderson score a touchdown today?
If he's playing, he's scoring. Okay. Death, taxes, and Nick Anderson will score a tutty today, okay?
Well, if he
Hey.
catches 3 balls, there's a good chance one of those is a touchdown based off.
Sturgeaholics, do us a favor. Hit the like right now. Check out the FanStop, thefanstop.com. And then after the game, per Chief, though, having Woody at Cheetah scares him. After the game, join us immediately following. Tell your friends. Tell anyone who wants to vent or talk about OU football. This is the place. I got the Sooners 33-13. I'd love to see Boganowski too. I got OU 33-13, Jay.
Yeah, I got OU 20-17. I need to see some offense before I can say it. So
appreciate everyone that's been on here. Appreciate everyone joining us before, and we'll see you all immediately following the game. Let's get this dub. Boomer.